This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Goes Over Glitter and Lasers, aka Anna's entire lipedema surgery arc from start to finish. And that means we're actually going further back than you think. And I have a floating cat hair. There we go. It can't be a video without cat hair. Eventually we'll have a cat. We started this journey back, technically, in 2017 when in random try-on haul, Anna mentions that she has lipedema. I haven't dug that up. But it's in it's in one of her things back in 2017. Fit and Full Fat has it in one of her Anna deep dives. Excuse me. We're not digging that full back because as far as I recall, it is just a brief mention in one of Anna's try-on hauls. Now, the last video that we did, the very first video in this series, is Anna in a 2020 video talking about how she has... Here we go. She has lipedema, and she talks about having lipedema in 2020. Right. Somebody brought up in the comments section about if around 2020 was when Anna started taking the shots from Novo Nordisk, the weight loss GLP-1 shots from Novo Nordisk. And I could not recall if that was around when Anna started taking the shots or not. So I decided to do a deep dive into when that hit my radar. And my radar got dinged when Sam at Every Size found the Novo Nordisk promotional video that Anna did for Novo Nordisk that was called It's Bigger Than Me. Now, the It's Bigger Than Me video went out around 2023 sometime. Maybe 2022. Hang on. So this article is from MM+M. It was published in October of 2023. Sam at Every Size video was in June of 2023. She was talking about the video that we see right here. Excuse me. Also can't be a long haul video without a cough drop. So this video is at least from early to mid 2023, right? Anna's on the shots at this point. Okay. Okay. This is Anna from January of 26th, 2023. This is, I'm back and I have some big news. There is no mention during this video of weight loss or taking weight loss drugs. This is Anna from May 8th of 2023. This is a Q&A that she did. This is your questions answered, weight loss, romance, plus more. One of the questions is her opinion on I think it's surgery-assisted weight loss, where she basically says she doesn't have an opinion. It's a personal choice every person has to make. Anna is very anti surgery weight loss because personal reasons for her. But then the very last question at the end of this is, have you lost weight? And she says very coyly, oh, I've lost a few pounds here and there, but I'm not really keeping track, right? So this is May of 2023. Let's see. This is somewhere in early 2023, possibly late 2022. I don't know exactly when this was filmed, but it was before June of 2023 because that's when Sam posted this video. Ergo, it had to have been made before that date. Archaeology. So that's how I know that this is that this predates that date, right? So at some point during the year of 2023, Anna is taking weight loss injections, right? Now, this video is linked in this article from October 3rd, 2023. It is linked right here. The reason it is linked is because this article talks about the It's Bigger Than Me campaign with Novo Nordisk working, and I'll link this article in the description if I don't remind me. It is talking about how they are working with Queen Latifah and also influencer Anna O'Brien, and this video is linked. Now, this video looks familiar because Anna was on a happiness retreat in Finland in 2023. I did cover this video. And again, I will try to remember to link that because Anna went to Finland on a happiness retreat and made herself fucking miserable. This is the happiness retreat that Anna went on and then had a crying fit because the Michelin star chef told her that her tarts looked like crap. Because they did, apparently. I learned, don't ask a Michelin star chef if your tarts look like crap, because he's going to tell you yes. That's what I learned from this experience. Because I do believe the conversation went something like, I asked him if my tarts looked nice, and he said, do you want an honest answer? And I said, yes. And then he told me my tarts looked like crap. So I started crying. Did your tarts not look like crap after you started crying? Because I bet they still looked like crap. Anyway, did they taste like crap? That's the real question, though. They can look like crap all day long. Did they taste good? Because as long as they taste good, does it really matter what they look like? Anyhow. I don't understand how Anna travels as much as she does and is still so fucking miserable the whole time. This is also the same retreat that Anna went to, and at the end of the video had a big boohoo session because apparently the entire time she was on this retreat, she never once sat at the big long table where everybody else was sitting, the big communal table. And the entire time she wouldn't sit there with everybody. And at the end of the retreat, they were all like, why won't you sit at the table with everybody? And she's like, there's no chairs that I'll fit in at the table. And they were all like, well, why didn't you say anything? We'll just go get a chair that you'll fit in. The entire time she was there, which was like a week or 2 weeks or something like that, she never once asked for a bigger chair, apparently. Even though we know Anna's more than capable of berating service staff to get a larger chair at any other restaurant she goes to. The happiness retreat, she couldn't bother to ask for a larger chair because she didn't want to be a burden. Really? Really? You have an entire story of when you went to Spain where you made them go outside of the restaurant to find a chair that you will fit in because you deserved to eat there. But you couldn't ask for a larger chair at the happiness retreat? Really? Okay. Sure, Jen. Anyway. So I thought this video is from 2023. It's part of the Novo Nordisk It's Bigger Than Me campaign. This is Anna's contribution to the Novo Nordisk It's Bigger Than Me campaign. It's on top of this video that she did as part of the podcast series that was part of the Novo Nordisk It's Bigger Than Me campaign. I can't find this particular video, but it's in Sam at Every Size's GlitterAndLazers becomes a paid spokesperson / fat acceptance cringe. Again, I will link this in the description down below for those of you who want to watch it at Sam at Every Size's channel, words. But we're not going to go over this one. This one is not that important. You need to know it exists, but it's not important for the story. I do feel like, however, that's the one I want. I have notes. I do feel, however, going over this is important because This is in between the I have lipedema video from 2020 and the I'm getting surgery video that is in 2023. This is the video I'm having surgery. This is from 11 months ago in 2024, June 26th of 2024. June, July. Ooh. We are almost exactly a year from the beginning of the surgery arc. The official beginning, check, of the surgery arc for Anna, anyway. So, well, okay, we're almost a year from this video. So this one is kind of in the middle, right? And I feel like this one's important because the GLP-1 injections become a major part of the surgery arc later on. They become a major part of the lipedema arc because at some point in the surgery arc, Anna has to come off of all of the medications she's on before she goes into surgery. That's normal practice for any kind of surgery, major surgeries especially. They'll make you come off of damn near everything that you're on because of the anesthesia that they're going to put you on. And they don't want anything interacting with it. They make you come off of pretty much everything. And that includes the GLP-1s. And Anna claims that when she came off of her GLP-1s, that's when she started experiencing all this pain. I'm sure. But Anna's thing is she was never on the GLP-1s for weight loss, you guys. Well, then why the hell were you on them, Anna? And then after the surgery arc started, she decided that the reason she had been taking them was for their anti-inflammatory possibilities. And it's like, if you started taking these prior to 2024-ish, 2025-ish, they didn't know about that yet. So why were you taking them? Like the anti-inflammatory properties of the GLP-1s weren't that well known yet. So why were you on them? If it wasn't for weight loss, you were either diabetic, which you adamantly refuse, or you were taking them for weight loss. As in the Novo Nordisk video that you made, where it's all about weight loss. You are literally being interviewed about weight loss. And this video where you're talking about It's Bigger Than Me, which is the Novo Nordisk campaign about weight loss and weight management. So why were you on it, Anna? Anyway, she's the most weight loss centric, not weight loss person I've ever seen. Anyway, I have notes. We are going to watch this. I have notes. This is a 16-minute video. We are going to speed her up. Ba-bum, ba-bum. There we go. All right. Place your bets how long this is going to take. Last one was about an hour and 12 minutes. So the other thing I'm going to do is I have thrown in a couple of the 48 laws here and there as I think they fit in. I don't have a law for everything. I've just kind of sprinkled them in here and there as they have tickled my fancy. So don't expect a law every time I stop. But I do have transcripts. I do have timestamps. So scoot, 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 scoot. There we go. All right, let's do this. Yeah. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. We are 100 subscribers away from 12K. 12K means we sponsor another cat. Tell your friends. Tell your mama. Tell your friends. All right. I don't think there's anything else I need to say.
In the middle of nowhere, but it is absolutely beautiful.
Let's start from the beginning. All right, here we go.
I'm coming at you live from Finland. I'm literally in a remote village in
You're live? Live means there's not edited, but whatever, let's go.
kind of the middle of nowhere, but it is absolutely beautiful. And what I'm realizing for this experience is that as little as like 3 months ago, I never would have been able to do this. And I think on my health journey, I've been updating you guys fairly regularly, and it kind of just hit me today that I kind of owed you guys another update. the reality is that right now, as of like this week, actually, all of my health conditions are managed. That means I'm taking medication. I've made changes in my lifestyle to diminish the effects of these conditions on my life. And I'm aware of and able to make decisions with them in mind, right? I didn't even know what they were for a long time. And I'm just feeling incredibly grateful because I think that...
Now, one thing you need to know is that Anna always plays her cards very tight. We don't really know too much about Anna's health conditions. And part of that is Anna's a very private person. She always has been. I don't fault her for that too much. The problem is when Anna starts pulling out her "my health conditions are managed" card, and she still does this today. I have flare-ups. Of? Like, she's trying to pull the spoonies. My spoonie girls will know. What? Your spoonie girls will know what? Oh, my spoonie girls will understand a flare-up. Of what? Most people who claim to be spoonies will have of something attached to it. I have a low number of spoons today because my da-da-da-da-da is occurring. There's usually a reason for me to have a low number of spoons, not just like, Anyway, my point is, Anna has always been very vague about her health, right? We know she has Hashimoto's, or she has claimed to have Hashimoto's for a long time. And I say that now because of how she claims to have a lot of things today, like her Ehlers-Danlos. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. She claims to have that. She claims to have, well, the lipedema arc is up in the air. If certain things about that are up in the air. I'm not saying she doesn't have lipedema. There's just certain aspects of it that are questionable. There are other things that she's claiming or has claimed in the past to have that people are kind of wondering about. And then there's certain health issues that people wonder if she has, but she's adamant that she does not. So things like that. But all of my health conditions are managed. This is a type of moral masking. It's a strategic performativeness, but it also falls under law number 5, I think, which is so much depends on your reputation. She's guarding it with her life. She's using a moral performance here, and she's trying to guard her reputation. And her reputation here is fat girls are just as healthy as skinny girls. This is Anna's mantra from day one. She's a fit girl, even though she's a fat girl. Anna's very invested in BOPO, health at every size, fat acceptance, even though by this point, this is 2023, 2022, can't remember anymore. Scroll, 2023. She has divorced herself from BOPO at this point, but she still has a lot of health at every size and fat acceptance rhetoric in her vocabulary. She still subscribes to a lot of their talking points and a lot of their theories at this point. Still does today. And her biggest talking points are the health at every size things where, even though I'm morbidly obese, I'm still just as healthy as Olympians, literally. So for her, it's part of her identity and her reputation is I'm just as healthy as Chikara transformations, right? She's just as healthy as any of the female bodybuilders, any of the female Olympians, any of the skinny minis that are out there doing any of these other healthy things. She's just as healthy as any other woman out there, right? And her weight and her size and her obesity has nothing to do with it, right? And so all of my health conditions are managed. It's important to us, it's important to her that we know that her health conditions are managed and have nothing to do with her weight and her size, right? It has nothing to do with her obesity. So that's that everything depends on her reputation, and she's guarding it with her life. She is letting us know that her health is under control. But this is the performative part of it, right? You can look at her and you can see that that's not true. And if you go and you watch her video about her trip to Finland, and I think there's two different videos, honestly. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But she talks in this video in these videos about how her health isn't good. Her mental health's not good. She had like some stomach upset and some like IBS problems. I don't know if she has IBS, but she was having like tummy troubles. And yeah, I think the shots she was taking, her weight loss shots, were causing her to have stomach problems, as they are known to do. And she wasn't having her health issues weren't under control, right? So which is it, Anna? Anyway, the other one that she's doing here is I kind of owed you guys another update. This is the transactional altruism, the gift as control. Now remember, this one can be gifting, but it can also be self-improvement as a gift. This one, though, is I owed you guys another update. Anna has always viewed her content, and she has said these things with her mouth. Anna has always viewed her content as a gift to us. She gifts us her content. Now, there's an argument that is what is happening. If Anna didn't make content, we would have no content from Anna to consume. That is true, but it's a bit egotistical. So it's just an interesting, very blunt way of, I guess, looking at it. So I guess it's just the ego that goes behind that statement, that way of thinking of it. That's kind of like, oh, all right. Yet here I am. So here you go. So there's that. But this kind of falls, in my opinion, under like Law 12, use selective honesty and generosity. So more like use selective generosity to disarm your victims. You're disarming suspicion, you're building trust, and you're trying to bind someone into an emotional debt while hiding your ulterior motives. So the gift itself is not free. It's a tool of soft control. So she's giving us an update because she owes us an update. Oh, thanks, Anna. I'm so glad you took time out of your busy trip to Finland to film this 16-minute video to give me an ad, because that's what this is, an ad for Novo Nordisk. Thanks. Gee, it's just what I wanted. But the way she couches this is as if it is a gift to me, a gift to the audience, from her. She's taking time out of her busy day, out of her vacation to Finland that she won, by the way. She didn't pay for this. To let me in on a little secret that she has, that is this ad from Novo Nordisk that she is being paid to do, that she is getting free drugs to do. That came out wrong. I mean, it's true, but it came out wrong. Anyway. All right, let's keep going.
As someone who couldn't do as much as I've been able to do these last couple days, which is like lots of uphill hiking and just lots of physicality in general.
That she bitched about constantly in her Finland video, by the way.
I just don't want to take for granted all the progress I've had, because it's...
And we go, in the last video we talked about, my notes here go along with the timestamps from the transcript, right? But another thing that we also have to look at is Anna's actual performance during the video. And one of the things that Anna does is she weaponizes her tears. She weaponizes crying. She weaponizes everything that she does. And Anna's getting ready to go into one of her more performative crying jags that she does. That she kind of weaves in and out of her emotional states. I think she does these things as a way of deflecting responsibility and deflecting criticism, because how dare you make fun of a crying woman? So anyway, so she's getting ready to go into one of her sobs. I don't know if she like literally has no emotional control, which I don't believe, or if she literally thinks that crying gives her stories more impact or something. I don't know what the logic for all of the crying that she does is, because she'll also go into videos and be like, I don't cry a lot, you guys. In what world? So anyway, I just want you guys to keep an eye on her literal behavior and her nonverbal behavior, because I've been watching the behavioral panel for like 2 days straight now at this point. It's been good stuff. But yeah, just keep an eye on her overall nonverbal communication during this video as well, because keep in mind, this is a commercial. This is a commercial. So all of her behavior during this is not authentic behavior. Baseline behavior for Anna is really hard to pin down because almost always Anna's making a video because she's getting paid to do it, which means almost always Anna's performing anyway. But this is 100% performative for her. Anyway, onward. I was going to call this particularly something. Where did it go? Empathy mining. So right now we're getting ready to go into a empathy mining session where she's getting ready to start crying. She's weaponizing her tears. She's trying to deflect criticism at this point, and we're going into a crying jag. Go.
I feel myself coming back, and it's exciting. Like every day, I feel like a little bit more me. I'm gonna back up a little bit, but I felt like I owed you guys a health journey update because I just feel like I'm in such a different space now, even since the last time we connected, that I need to fill you in. Now for those.
She says, every day I feel a little bit more me. And this is a parasocial embellishment. She's trying to connect with the audience in a way that she feels like they can relate back to her. So this isn't the audience connecting with her. This is her connecting with the audience, right? We talk about parasocial relationships. Usually when you talk about the audience having a parasocial relationship with the influencer, this is that being turned around, and she's trying to encourage a parasocial relationship through the audience to her. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on with a different one that I can't say the word right now. Words. Anyway, we'll get to it. But this is encouraging that to happen. It's parasitic intimacy. So she wants that to occur, so she's trying to seem relatable, basically. Anyway, there we go.
Those of you that have like never watched a video about my health or have no idea what I'm talking about, or you're just meeting me for the first time, hi, I'm Anna. About 9 months ago, I went to an event in Houston for It's Bigger Than Me. In case you're not familiar with it, It's Bigger Than Me is a movement actually sponsored by Novo Nordisk that is really on a mission.
All right, timeline-wise, if she says about a month ago, which you can't trust Anna's timeline whatsoever. Okay, she says about 9 months ago, I went to an event in Houston. Math. If 9 months ago, September 6th. What's 9 months from September 6th? Okay. If Anna's timeline is to be believed, grain of salt, that would have been December of 2022 is when she filmed that clip. This would have been December of 2022, give or take. Really? Well, if she's in Houston, yeah, I guess there would be green on the trees, I guess. I don't know. Do you guys have green trees in Houston in the Decembers? I don't know. Anyway. That's also assuming this actually occurred in September. She's in Finland, so who knows. And I've lost my notes there. So there you go for that. But the timelines with Amber are always Anna are wibbly wobbly at best. Anyway, go.
To just change the way the world sees things and treats people with obesity by having open and shame-free discussions. So talking about the hard subjects that affect people like me in order to make sure that we can receive the treatment we deserve. There was a whole bunch of like...
This is narrative control. She's trying to control the narrative here, which is the goal here. You heard all of that right there, you know, the complete redefining of language, directional control of the language, that kind of thing. It's the treat disease is not as a moral failing, that kind of, we're not there yet. But anyway, the whole conversation here is shifting the language. We're trying to shift the narrative around the conversation of obesity. And so this is just a giant narrative control. And you can hear it when she's talking. And it's not just Anna doing it. It's whoever this bigger than me Novo Nordisk thing is. And it's probably because this was the beginning of the big GLP-1 boom. And Novo Nordisk is trying to get out ahead of it, obviously, because it was it's a big money grab. And Novo Nordisk, again, wanted to get out ahead of it. I don't know who's winning. I don't care. This is not the time nor the place for that discussion. I'm just pointing out that this is a PR thing. Anna's a PR kind of person. So there's that. Do I think Anna actually believes any of this shit? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I don't think Anna cares. I think Anna likes dollar signs. Dala, and that's all Anna cares about, honestly. So anyway.
Panelists, and Queen Latifah actually was the host, talking about how obesity affects people's lives, weight stigma, all of that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a doctor came to speak. Her name was Dr. Horn, and she talked about how we need to change the way we look at people with obesity. That we need to stop judging them or punishing them for their bodies, and instead, get to the root of what's causing them to have excess weight. And I remember watching this, and to me, it just felt like a totally radical way to look at obesity, to treat it as like a disease and not like a moral failing or like a problem that I have. And I'll be honest, when I first heard it, it did make me a little uncomfortable because it was such a radical concept. Because I felt villainized for being overweight, but I've also felt villainized for saying I don't always feel great or that I might want to change.
This is, where are we at? Yeah, okay. She says, I've felt villainized for wanting to change my weight. This is ritualized deception or cosmological lies. This also falls under, in my opinion, Law 26, keep your hands clean. By manipulating the narrative, she's trying to reframe action so that the blame or the harm never sticks to her. It's things like, I didn't lie, I misunderstood. Amber. It's not manipulation, it's love. Amber. The language becomes a moral shield. And in this situation, she's falling back on, where are we going? I've felt villainized for wanting to change my weight. She gets a lot of pushback from the BOPO, the Haze, the fat acceptance people, because how dare she try to lose weight and still try to be part of the health at every size and the fat acceptance communities, because you built your reputation on the backs of fat people. And it's like, in my opinion, she built her reputation on the backs of people who give her attention. And there you go. So there's that. I don't think Anna cares. I think Anna cares about who's going to pay for what. And I hate to be cynical like that, but that's how the world works. So there's that. If you're looking to Anna to be your role model, here's your role model. And with the cosmological lies, though, and the keeping your hands clean thing, what she's trying to do is juggle language around in a way that she keeps it moving enough that when you try to pin it down, she can move it again. It's like a moving goalpost. And the goal here is to just keep everything up in the air enough that you can't pin it down. And so she's never actually, you can't ever really hold her accountable or responsible for anything that she says, because at any moment she can move it again, right? So that's what's going on there. And we're not there yet.
My weight. And this presented obesity in a way that was very neutral, and that meant a lot to me. So,
and her saying all of this shit about, oh, I've never thought of it that way, and blah, 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 blah. And you can just tell from her body language and the way that she's over emoting with her face and everything. I don't think that's really how she feels about it. Maybe once upon a time she did, but here right now, one of the issues with Anna is she spends so much time performing, it comes off inauthentic. So maybe she really does feel that way, but by the time she gets to recording the videos, she's so concerned with appearing authentic and appearing to emote correctly that it comes off fake. And so maybe she does feel this way. But by the time she gets to the recording part, it comes off so fake that it doesn't feel authentic. And that's Anna's number one problem, I think, when it comes to these videos. Whether or not she does or does not feel something is irrelevant. She cannot be authentic in front of a camera anymore. She used to be able to. I've seen some of her older stuff. But this is just not the face that someone makes when they're authentically thinking about something. This is the face someone makes when they're trying to remember what they were going to say. Right? This is the remembering face. This is the line face. This is not the I genuinely feel face, right? She's trying to be like, I felt like I was being villainized. No, this is the I'm trying to remember the next thing I wanted to say line. Anyway.
After that experience, I did a lot of work into finding a primary care physician that would listen to me. And I found an amazing doctor, and we got to the root of some health issues. And it turns out that a lot of the issues I'm facing with my obesity are related to medical conditions that I have.
And if you have watched the video from 2020 that we went over very first in this series, she is probably talking about her lipedema and possibly her hypothyroidism, aka her Hashimoto's, which is what Amber is going through right now. And I say probably because Anna doesn't say. So that's why I'm guessing. But this goes back to Anna is so vague about the shit that's wrong with her that we have to speculate. And then she gets mad at us for speculating. Okay, anyway. We're at 3:30. Okay, we're not there yet.
I'm also going to caveat this. I am not a doctor. I am not an expert in medical advice. I cannot diagnose you. I cannot suggest a diet plan for you. I cannot suggest an exercise routine for you. That is not what this video is about. And if that's what you're here for, like, I'm just not that person, and I'm never going to be that person. But
this is her CYAing. However, we know from past behavior and current Anna behavior, Anna may say these things, and Anna may put this language out there as a way of CYAing. However, behaviorally, Anna does want to be the one to give you this advice, and she does want you to listen to her, and she does want to be viewed as an authority in these topics, especially when it comes to the lipedema arc. The further along we get in the lipedema arc, especially towards the end of it, Anna desperately wants to be taken as an authority in the topic, to the point where she gets combative against people who are actually somewhat authoritative in the field. And it's really interesting, and we'll get to it when we'll talk about it more when we get into it. But like, she does say these things. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. But like, she gets to a point where she starts spouting off, and it's like, but you're actually arguing with people who have PhD, who do research in this field. And it's kind of interesting to watch. Not to mention, she just in general argues with literally everyone. So that actually is kind of fun to watch. But those other people are also not experts. So when you have two people who are not experts and they're arguing with each other, anything goes, because neither of us are experts and we're just arguing with each other. So that's fun. Did we get there? Yeah, we did. And that's not relevant.
I can say is that finding that doctor that listened to me, heard me, and took in consideration my needs and my goals was the difference in basically changing my life. Like, I literally...
Another thing she's doing here is an appeal to authority, where, again, she's vague posting, but she's trying to do the whole, like, my doctor, my authority, they, me, I, doctor. It's like in the first video where she was trying to say was she like a doctor, a nurse, a charity that specializes in lipedema. All of these experts in lipedema just randomly reached out to me to tell me that I had lipedema. At the one hand, she's like mentioning how all these random people on the internet reached out to her to tell her randomly that she had lipedema, but they were all people who were accredited. All of these experts in lipedema were just randomly reaching out to her to tell her that she had lipedema. It's the same kind of thing that's going on here. It's a way of her deflecting criticism later on, because she can be like, my doctor. It's like, she does this a lot. Later on, she'll be like, my health team. She does that a lot. My health team and I. Okay, who's your health team? Is it like the pit stop at the race? Like you pull off and then yank your tires off and smack them back on and throw you out back into the race? Like, how is this working? What are you talking about? But anyway, she does this vague posting shit a lot. But it's her way of kind of like, if you come at her with a question and she can't answer you or she doesn't want to answer you, instead of just ignoring you, she'll be like, my health team and I. Okay. What the fuck does that mean? Anyway. What it means is, I don't want to answer you. Just say that. Just own it and say it. I'm not answering. Okay, cool. At least I know, at least I have a genuine F you, go away. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm just not going to get an answer. As opposed to, I'm going to vague post about it. I'm just going to keep asking then. Anyway, where are we at? We're not there yet. Okay, cool.
Really owe a lot to that doctor.
See, and that's where she's going into her line and she's getting ready to do one of her crying jags.
And I sometimes think if I like hadn't seen him, I mean, when I saw him and I got some of my medical tests back, like
another thing that she does is that I don't understand is she flip-flops back and forth between if her doctor's a him or a her. And so I can't tell if she's doing like Amber does and can't keep it straight which doctor she's talking about. Like she can't remember what doctor she's talking about, or if she has multiple doctors. That's another problem I have with Anna's stories is like, 1 minute you're calling your doctor her, 1 minute you're calling your doctor him. Are you like me and I have multiple doctors and they are both hims and hers? Or do you not have a doctor and you can't remember what gender you assigned to your not doctor? And so when you tell these stories, you can't remember what pronouns to use for your doctor because your doctor's not real and you can't remember what you called them last time. You know, like I can't decide. And with Amber, I just assume she's lying because it's Amber. With Anna, I don't know. So, I mean, it's entirely possible that Anna does have multiple doctors. But Anna just says, my doctor, and then just starts talking. She doesn't specify, like, you know, my general practitioner, later on, she will start saying things like my obesity specialist. And she will start specifying the type of doctor kind of later on. But like early on in this, before we start getting into the actual lipedema surgery arc, she just says, my doctor. Your doctor what? Like your OBGYN, your specialist, your what doctor? And so it makes it really hard to follow what she's talking about. And it also makes it really hard to discern if she's lying or not. Because she just says, my doctor. Which doctor? Do you have multiples or are you just making shit up? Because it sounds like you're just making shit up. And with people coming out of fat acceptance and BOPO and HAZE, a lot of times they're just making shit up. And so it feels like she's just making shit up. Is she? I don't know. But I'm just going off of past experiences with similar cases where I know they're just lying. And unfortunately, it feels like that's what's happening. You guys understand what I'm saying? I can't 100% sure say she is or isn't. But it feels like she is. Right? Anyway. And this goes to the, when I get my medical tests back, I was pretty bad off. So this is, again, that strategic victimhood and the empathy mining. And of course, it's overlapping with her weaponizing of her crying and her tears and her trying to deflect the criticism via, you know, boohoo, poor me crap that she's doing. So this is like, not only is she using words for her empathy mining, but she's also using her nonverbals and her behavior for the empathy mining as well, which makes it even harder for me to critique her or criticize her because now I'm beating up on a poor crying woman on the internet. Now I'm just being critical. I'm calling it like I see it.
I was pretty bad off, to be honest. And I was like,
she even has the runny nose. Does that make me more sympathetic when I do that? Do you guys feel bad for me yet? I won't do it again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why do you people watch me? How many of you just like straight clicked off after that? You're just like, nope, done.
Overwhelmed. And if he hadn't been so kind and so patient, I don't know if I would have addressed everything I addressed, because it was a lot to take on an appointment. And even though it was a lot, and even though it was really scary, it was so worth it. I would never want to live with what I lived with for so long. And if I could stop anybody else for living with things that they don't have to suffer through, I would. And so.
And this is her. Anna loves to be the martyr. Like, one of the things Anna loves to do more than anything is to put herself out there as the fat martyr. And not just in a way of like, oh, crucify me. She wants to put herself out there as like I have suffered so you can learn. Like, so that's what she wants. And she says it in so many different ways throughout the years when she does her health updates and when she does her workout girly shit. And then and especially later on as we get deeper into the lymphedema arc, she'll do this whole like, if my journey has done nothing else but inspire one other woman to get help. Okay. Cool. But that's her thing, that she wants more than anything to be a role model and an inspiration to everyone. And so she has to have this unwavering belief, I guess, in herself that she is doing no wrong. And I just, A, don't believe that she has that, and B, it makes her double down on things when I don't think she should. And when I also don't think that she honestly believes what she's doing is right. But she can't admit when she's wrong, right? And when she does admit when she's wrong, or when she backtracks-ish, she has to do it in a way where she flips it back around and she makes herself the victim again. And we'll talk about that much later on in the future when we're talking about her podcast episodes, which will be much later in the future, unfortunately. But in one of her podcast episodes, she'll talk about how she feels so bad about all of the time that she was involved in the fat acceptance movement and how much damage she feels like she has done to young women by being part of fat acceptance, and how bad that makes her feel. And how bad she feels when she thinks about all the things that she might have done, and how that brings her to tears. It's just like, yeah, but you fucked people up. Like, you actively were screwing people up. Oh yeah, but that makes me feel so bad. You have no idea how bad I feel. Cool. How about all of the people you literally lied to for like a decade? Yeah, but I feel so bad. Okay. I'm glad that you feel bad. Cool. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going.
It's really interesting. Now it's, 9 months later from an event that changed my life. I get a call from It's Bigger Than Me, and they're actually launching a program now.
She has so many life-changing things that she does. It's amazing how she never changes.
To help doctors communicate that they are allies and that they're not going to be running their practices in a way that's biased towards individuals with weight. They understand that this process of finding a doctor is really hard. So one of the things I'm actually really excited to share with you guys today is that It's Bigger Than Me is kind of taking a next step towards the future of healthcare. And what they're doing is they've created the Inclusive Obesity Care Initiative. Oh, that's a mouthful, but what it is amazing. Basically, they're calling on everybody to show their support for inclusive obesity care. And that care isn't just inclusive, it's compassionate. And I think that's a really important word, because you can treat a plus body, but to have and
the amount of performativeness that she's doing right now is just above and beyond her normal level. And it's very fascinating to watch, because I'm trying to tie it back to other things that I've seen her do in the past. And I haven't seen her act this keyed up since her early days doing her try-on hauls where she was like really over the top at near cringe level, like almost sometimes at cringe level with her try on hauls. And it was because she was trying to be over the top because she was trying to get the views. So I'm trying to like figure out why this is where she's going right now for the energy of this.
Be sensitive to their needs is an important part of this process. So the initiative is really centered around helping people like take control of their health and form long-term relationships with their healthcare providers, which is honestly what it takes to build a healthy lifestyle. It doesn't happen overnight, and you need to be a team with your healthcare provider. And you can't have that if you're not having open and honest conversations with your healthcare provider. And if you
Stepping outside of what's happening in this video, what do you people do at your doctors? Like what happens when you go to your doctor? I don't understand the words coming out of her mouth, to be perfectly honest with you. I go to my doctor, I fill out that stupid questionnaire every damn time I go to the stupid doctor because it's the same stupid questionnaire every time. You would think after the 4th or 5th time you go, they would know this information by now. They take you back, they weigh you because it's the doctor's office. That's what they do. They take your blood pressure. You sit there for 15 minutes and wait for the doctor to finally come back and see you. And then you have a conversation with your doctor and you talk to them about whatever the hell's wrong with you at the moment. And they tell you what they think is going on. And then you either have tests ordered or you go home. Like, what do you do when you go to the doctor? Why would you go to the doctor and not talk to your doctor? I don't understand. Why do you even make the appointment? I don't just go to the doctor to just sit there. Like, I don't get it. Who are these people that just go to the doctor to waste their time? Anyway, I don't get it. If you're not going to go to the doctor, why are you making the appointment? Anyhow.
don't feel like they're going to listen to you. And I think it all stems from this idea of treat it like a health issue, not like a personal like failure. And I think that really looking at it from a medical perspective can ensure people get treated fairly. So with this whole thing, they've created an ally marker that basically signifies like, I am someone that supports the idea that obesity care should be inclusive and non-judgmental, and that you should work in tandem with your patient to find solutions that help them live a healthier life. And most importantly, it's not something you should have to like deal with on your own. You're going to need help, and your doctor should support you in it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about ensuring that healthcare is better for bodies of all sizes, and that care is inclusive and compassionate, which is honestly what we all want. We just want to be seen and heard at the doctor. And I am living proof that when that happens, you can have things really change for you. And I'm...
Okay, starts. If your doctor's an asshole to you, fuck your doctor. Get a different one if you can. I understand it's not always possible. I get that part. I really do. But if your doctor's an asshole, fuck your doctor. I have had asshole doctors. I have had really, really shitty doctors. Trust me, I understand. I have had doctors to the point where I didn't go to the doctor for a very long time because that's how shitty my doctors were. So I get you. I do. But if your doctor's shitty, fuck your doctor. But like, my next point is Anna, if you're trying to use yourself as the poster child for inclusive healthcare, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good over here. It's kind of like when Anna's like, I'm the poster child for Copilot. I'm good. I'm good over here. This is gonna come over here now. I'm the poster child for any health product. Go over here now. No offense. I mean, maybe some. Yeah, we're still rolling along. All right. I just needed to add that. I'm sorry. That was mean, and it's mean, but it's also a reality check. I don't understand what people don't get about the proof is in the pudding, right? If I want to get healthy and I see someone who is clearly not healthy telling me about health benefits, I'm going to need a really good backstory as to why I should be listening to you. Take, for example, the guy right now, Sal. He was like 725-ish pounds when he started his health journey. Now, he was like 500 and some when he finally debuted-ish on YouTube. But Sal started at 725. I think he's down in his mid 500s now. I think he's cruising down to around 4. That's if Sal wants to tell me about health shit, I'm going to listen to Sal, because Sal has now lost somewhere. I mean, he started at 725 and he's dropped to 200, 300 pounds at this point. He's still a big guy. He still looks like a big guy. If he just sat there and talked to me, I would be like, but after he tells me he's lost 200, almost 300 pounds, I'll be like, all right, you have my attention, right? That's different. That's different. Anna not only has not lost that kind of weight, Anna has gained somewhere between 150 to 200 pounds over the time she's been on the internet. Right? Not my goal in life. And it's not like she's gained that in muscle. Right? Not my goal in life. So, of the two individuals, both of which are still obese, not slamming Sal, just pointing it out. Of the two individuals, if I had to take health advice from one of them, gonna go take advice from Sal. Strive for change. Dropped 100 pounds naturally, right? Still dropping weight. Maybe he has some struggles, still fine. Also, still technically obese, right? Probably gonna take advice from him before I take advice from her. Putting it out there. Putting it out there. Right? Just saying. just saying. Anyway.
Excited that they're doing this. I feel like it's actually going to help so many people. As I said, finding the right doctor was really like the linchpin for me. It was the part that changed everything. And from that, you know, I progressed. The next step was reintegrating movement, right? And I think, like I said, this trip has really made it clear that
she's got a little thingy that popped up down here that says, "This is not medical advice." Wow. I am so sorry about that dirty pause. But anyway, I just wanted to point out she's got a little disclaimer that pops up here. Oh man, I'm so sorry about that.
I was not in a great place before. There is no way I could do this. And to be really honest, like some of the activities we've done here, I had a little bit of nervousness that I wouldn't be able to complete. And I surprised myself, which was like pretty awesome. And that came by finding movement in the beginning that was simple and comfortable for me to do, that I could do consistently.
Like, keep in mind, she's doing better health or Copilot right now. Copilot is also known now as Trainwell. It's now rebranded as Trainwell. But this is the time period that she's doing Copilot exercises right now. She's lifting. What in the hell? I think my cats are trying to get the birds through the window unsuccessfully.
Consistently. And you're going to hear me say the word consistently all the time, because honestly, that's the word I live by. I don't look at how much weight I've lost. I don't look at how much muscle I've built. I've looked at how consistent I've been with my habits, because I think,
well, both of those are good that you're not checking those.
When you focus on building patterns, at least for me, that's been key to like my change. And I see that consistency has paid off, and it's exciting.
Is it?
Really exciting to do more than I thought I was capable of.
That right there, I truly believe she believes that. Like, that right there looked like tells that she really believed that she believes that.
So in tandem with movement, I did also change what I eat. I'm not on a diet. I don't
talk to your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or exercise plan.
Don't restrict myself to a certain number of calories a day, but I do think about food as fuel. So I eat more.
You also make a 1,000-calorie snackle box.
Carbs if I know I'm going to work out or I'm going to have a really active day the next day. I try to just really focus on getting good amounts of protein, because as my body is gaining more muscle and as it's changing literally, I just want to make sure that I maintain my muscle. And that's something that I talk to my doctor about a lot, is maintaining my muscle, because if I lose my muscle just to be smaller, then I'm taking away my strength, and I want to remain strong.
Lindsay made a really good point in one of her videos that she did a retro react to Anna. Anna, where'd Anna go? Lindsay was reacting to one of Anna's videos. I think she was in Hawaii. Anyway, Lindsay was watching Anna eat. Was it Anna or was it Lindsay? I'm almost positive it was Lindsay. If I can find the video, I'll see if I can't stick a couple things in here. But if I don't, and there's no clips, don't be surprised. But anyway, Lindsay was pointing out that at every meal that Anna went to, she was eating like copious amounts of food, which not that odd, I guess is where I'm going with this. But Lindsay was pointing out that the amount of food that Anna was eating and saying that she needed to eat, like Anna was justifying eating these large amounts of food because Anna would be like, we walked around all day. We were active all day. We did so much activity all day. Like Anna was justifying eating these huge amounts of food because Anna felt like she had been active all day. And Lindsay was like, well, there's your problem. It's not even that you're eating bad types of food, which she did point out that Anna was eating garbage. Now don't me wrong, like she was on vacation, quote unquote vacation. But the point is that Lindsay made was that if Anna eats similarly to this when she's home, you know, Anna goes for a long walk or Anna goes for one of her infamous hikes and then comes home and it's like, oh, I walked for 2.5 miles. I deserve, or I should, or like here, I need to maintain my muscles. Ergo, I need to eat tons of protein. And then she snarfs down 3 bags of Quest chips and 2 protein bars and a protein bun, cinnamon bun, because she's got to maintain her gains, you guys. You know, it's that level of delusion that Anna has because that's how she's justifying eating all of this food because it's, oh, I've got to eat all this protein so I don't lose my muscles. My muscles, you guys. You know, and Lindsay, now I'm being sarcastic at that point, but Lindsay was pointing out that if that's how Anna eats normally, then it's no wonder why Anna can't lose weight or is also like at this point gaining weight because Anna's justifying the amount of food that she eats because she needs this kind of food. She needs this amount of food. You know, she needs all of this fried chicken because chicken's protein and she doesn't want to lose her muscles because of all the like 10-pound weights that she's lifting, y'all. So, you know, that kind of shit. But here, listening to her talk about, you know, I gotta fuel my body by eating protein because I don't want to lose my muscles. No, but you want to lose that fat. You want that fat to come off. You don't even know if you have muscle. How do you even know if you have muscle? You got all that fat. I know Sal's got muscles because I saw how much he was benching. Don't get me wrong, I can't bench that much. And I think his buddy was benching more than him, but not by a lot. Sal was, the one video I saw of Sal doing, which was several months old at this point, dude was benching quite a bit. I mean, he wasn't like, you know, breaking records or anything, but I was kind of impressed. I'm not gonna lie. You know? And that was, like I said, a while ago. I'd be impressed to see how much he can do now. You know, dude was lifting. So, kind of impressed to see what he could do now. But that's kind of my point. Like, I can't see Sal's muscles, but I can see how much he can lift. And I can see how much Anna can lift. Don't get me wrong, Sal's a dude. Dudes typically can lift more than women. I get that much. I understand. I get how muscles work. Right? But Anna's been lifting like the same, maybe 20 pounds. Maybe she's lifted 20-pound dumbbells the entire time I've watched her work out. Right? I don't think I've ever seen her go heavier than 20, maybe. Right? I'm just saying. I don't even know if I've seen her do 20, to be perfectly honest with you. So, what are we talking? What are we talking about? I know I'm being kind of dickish, but I'm just, what are we doing here? Anyway, let's keep going.
That's something that's really important to me, is to remain strong. And that's why I'm always in the gym doing my squats, because it's important to me. I've also changed how I socialize. I used to go out to eat a lot and I used to drink a lot. I think I've mentioned this in other videos. I really don't drink anymore. I don't try to go out to eat with friends as often. I try more to go on walks or hikes or adventures or explore. And that includes, like, when I see my family and friends, I'm planning more active activities versus planning more food or, you know, sitting down activities. Because I think it's important that if this is how my life is going to be, then it needs to be that way when people come into town, just as much as it needs to be that way when they're out of town. And creating that perfect bubble in a silo is really easy, but if I can't maintain it for the rest of my life, then what's the point, right?
I think she believes herself. Honestly, I think she believes herself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't believe her, but I think she believes herself.
Point. And the last thing that I've done is I've stopped apologizing for changing. This is probably the first thing I worked on, but I don't think I ever really got to the point where I stopped feeling bad about working on my body.
And this is, I've stopped apologizing for changing. This is, again, the narrative control. She's redefining things. She's trying to grab hold of the conversation and the direction that the conversation goes. I am so sorry about the dirty pauses today. I don't know what I'm doing here. But this is another one of those times where she's grabbing hold of the conversation and the direction that the conversation is going, and she's trying to maintain control of it in order to deflect the criticism that she thinks she's going to be getting.
Until just recently, to be really honest, and some days I still struggle with it. I think that there are a lot of different mixed messages about working on your health. And I think when bodies change, people immediately assume that you're doing it in an improper way, or that you're sacrificing other types of health for it.
The only people that think that are the people that are coming out of the health at every size and the fat acceptance movements, which, again, you have to remember, Anna is still very ingrained in the rhetoric and the theories therein, or therefrom. This is 2023 Anna. She is still in that mental headspace of health at every size and fat acceptance. So when Anna hears weight loss or intentional weight loss, she thinks of unhealthy restriction. And even if you look at the way that Anna talks about and thinks about diet and exercise, she talks about it in a disordered kind of way, versus someone who isn't part of health at every size or fat acceptance, how they would talk about it. It's just different. I don't have a good example for people, but trust me, bro. But there is a stark difference between that. When you see people from health acceptance, fat acceptance and health at every size, when you see somebody try to leave those communities and you hear the way they talk about any form of dieting or any form of exercise, you will hear the devil, versus somebody who's been told by their doctor, you've got type 2 diabetes, you need to, like, lose some weight, get some exercise going to get healthy. And they're just like, oh, okay, well, then I need to cut back on salt, cut back on sugar, go for a walk in the afternoons, you know, that kind of stuff. Hello, little bug. That's not typically the devil. It might be, oh, this is inconvenient. Oh, I don't want to give up, you know, my desserts. But it's not like, oh, the devil is coming to get me. That's kind of how it is with fat acceptance in them. But did I miss? Not yet.
And I think that for the first time in my life, to be entirely candid, I don't feel like I'm making bad choices.
And now we're going to do the weaponized emotions again, because, again, we're trying to deflect criticism. I'm not making bad choices. Okay, so now I can't criticize that I do think you're making bad choices, because now I'm the asshole. I'm
actually just, like, really proud of myself.
Cool. Want a fucking gold star?
it took a really long time for me to stop apologizing for all the ways that I wasn't what people wanted me to be. I was too fat to be an influencer. I was too health conscious to be accepted in other communities. And
You were too health conscious to be accepted in other communities. Okay. I've stopped apologizing. Wait, where are we? I've stopped apologizing for not being what people wanted me to be. This is the cosmological lies, the ritualized deceptions. And this is, I was too fat to be an influencer. This is, again, the empathy mining. I couldn't possibly be an influencer, you guys. I'm too fat, even though she's totally an influencer because she's fat. That is her literal brand up till today. Anna is an influencer because she's fat. There's nothing wrong with that. I follow a couple different fat influencers who are literally influencers because they're fat. If they weren't, I don't know if they would be. There's nothing wrong with these women, but there's a million different skinny fashion influencers out there, to be perfectly frank. But the thing that makes these women stand out is they're plus sized. They're cute. I love their style. I love their fashion. I love the content that they make. But to be honest, I mean, there's a million other women that do the exact same thing. So where are we? Yeah. The ritualized deception, the cosmological lies. She's basically trying to, again, deflect. And she's also trying to, like, confuse the conversation. If she can make you, the audience, question your own take on the conversation, then she can, again, take a hold of the conversation and control it and direct where the conversation's going. But she can also, totally lost my train of thought. She can also redefine the conversation at the same time. So she can, like, redefine terms of the conversation. So that kind of a thing. Sorry, checking time. My notes are covering my timer. Ooh, it's a long one. Some of you lost bets. All right, where are we? Go.
have felt sometimes like I don't have a home in the internet world or just in real life. And I think by learning to stop.
I think she wants to not have a home because I think Anna wants to be a influencer nomad. I think, especially today, I think Anna, and I think this is the beginning of this, I think Anna wanted to break out of the niche that she had built for herself, which was that plus size fashion influencer. I think she really wanted to break out of that. And I think she wanted to start doing more. At this point, I think she wanted to start doing more travel style vlogging. And I don't know why she didn't pursue that. Maybe it just didn't work out for her. But also she started veering into health girly stuff. And that really wasn't working out for her either. So around this time is when she really starts trying to branch out. And none of it has really seemed to stick except for the lipedema stuff. And the lipedema stuff isn't necessarily sticking because it's doing well. It's sticking because it's so controversial. So it's not really working for her because she's good at it. It's working for her because the reaction channels won't let it go. So that kind of a thing.
Stop apologizing for, you know, the changes I'm making and the things I want in life. I'm getting closer to finding the people that have the same values as I do, but also to like a place where I just feel happier. I see so many people commenting on how different I look, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not sick anymore. I'm getting healthy. And that felt really impossible. And I also felt I blamed so many things on my weight. And when it got down to it, that blame wasn't well served, that didn't do anything for me. So when I stopped blaming myself and instead said, I'm just going to do the best I can with what I got, it's like something clicked. It's like something clicked and my whole life is changing, and it's just beautiful. And I thought I was happy before, I really did. But man, the level of happiness I feel now is like...
Keep in mind, this is the exact same trip she comes back from and has an entire story time about, where she tells us about how fucking miserable she was while she was on this happiness retreat in Finland. Go on.
I am becoming a type of person I never thought I could be, but always wanted to. And I am so proud of myself. I could sit here and tell you how much weight I've lost.
The I'm so proud of myself thing is part of this self-mythologizing feedback loop. And that's the thing I was going to talk to you guys about, where, so we talk about the parasitic relationship where she's encouraging the audience to have a parasocial relationship with her, right? But the self-mythologizing feedback loop is the audience interacts with her in a parasocial way. She takes that parasocial relationship and ingests it. She recognizes it and then re-interacts with the audience that way and encourages more interaction through it. So it creates a feedback loop. So she says, I am so proud of myself. And the reason why this is part of the feedback loop is because if you ever look at well, you can't on this one, the comments are all turned off. But before the comments got turned off on all of her videos on YouTube, if you ever go through her comment sections, you will see people who will leave comments who were approved, who will say things like, I'm so proud of you. You make me so proud. You encourage me, X, Y, Z. You will see so many people leave comments about how proud they are of her. And so for her to reiterate back to the audience, I'm proud of myself, it's her feeding back into the audience what they have already told her. So that's that loop being, that connection being made. Now that there are no comments on these videos anymore, it seems like it just exists. Whoops. It just exists out in the ether and it has no connection anymore. But back in the day, when there were comments on the videos, you could go back and you could see where some of these loops were being made complete. So it is kind of weird now, but trust me, bro, there did used to, at one point, you could go through and you could see some of these things where she talks about herself. You could go back through the comments. Now, keep in mind, her comment sections were always heavily curated. Very, very heavily curated. Like somebody was going through those things with a fine tooth comb. But you could go back through the comments sections and you could find the comments that she was typically responding to through her own self-praise, which is that self-mythologizing feedback loop. So back in the day, you could actually see that in action. Now you're just going to have to take my word for it. Now, if you were to go to TikTok and on Instagram, I think she still has comments open on there. You could probably see that happening on both of those. But I think both on TikTok and Instagram, I think her comments are a little less curated. Which also does, I mean, you could also probably see like a negative feedback loop going on there too, because she does tend to like, especially on Instagram, she will tend to respond to negative feedback on Instagram as well. Especially in her stories, those ones that disappear after 24 hours, which I'm very bad at catching. I need to spend more time on Reddit. But you will see her respond to that. And that also creates a feedback loop as well. Parasocial relationships can be both positive and negative. You can have anti-fans, and anti-fans are still a parasocial relationship because you are still in a relationship with a fan or with a personality online, negatively or positively. It's still a parasocial relationship. So fun times, the days we live in these days. So yeah, we're not there yet. Go.
That I have lost quite a bit of weight. Maybe not as much as people think I should lose, but also I'm doing.
keep in mind, this is part of, she just says here, oh, people think I should, wait, I have lost quite a bit of weight, she says. I could sit here and tell you how much weight I've lost, and I have lost quite a bit of weight. She still has not admitted at this point that she is taking weight loss injections, which is why this video is important to the storyline. I know we're an hour and so many minutes in. The reason why this video is important to the storyline is, as of this date, which is, I keep forgetting, September of 2023, Anna has not admitted that she is taking weight loss injections. Up to this point, she has worked with Novo Nordisk. She's made ads for Novo Nordisk. This is itself an ad for Novo Nordisk. She is actively taking injections of the GLP-1 from Novo Nordisk, has never admitted to her audience that she is taking these injections. The only thing the audience knows is that she is doing workouts from Copilot, aka Trainwell. That's it. She is trying to, up to this point, she is trying to make it sound like the only way she's been losing weight is through exercise alone. She hasn't changed her diet. She's been very clear about that. And that's it. Just exercise. That's it. And this is why Sam at Every Size came after her so hard as she did. And this is roughly when Anna starts hitting my radar. Not as a reaction channel yet, just me as a viewer. Because I'm like, well, that's shady as shit. So yeah. But this is important because this is part of the lipedema cycle. Because I think around the time in 2020 when she starts when she originally mentions that she went to see a specialist about her lipedema in 2020, I think that's the setup for getting here to the lipedema. So 9 months prior to this, when she went to go film that segment in around December of 2022, I'm thinking that's around the time she started taking the injections for the GLP-1. So at this point here, when she's in Finland, she has been on those injection shots for 9 months at this point. And you can see a huge difference between this Anna and this Anna. I mean, there's a huge difference. I mean, not to be a dick, but first off, who the fuck put her in pleather pants? No one looks good in pleather pants. No one. I don't care who you are. You don't look good in pleather pants. Period. Unless you're David Bowie. You don't look good in pleather pants. All right, anyway. Huge difference, right? All right, anyway. But that's my point. If this is 9 months ago from this, and this is 2023, a year from this, not even a year from this is September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. So another 9 months from here is when we're going to announce that we're going to be getting surgery for lipedema. Okay? Anyway.
Doing this in a very healthy way. So rapid weight loss is not usually the target. But I think what's more important is to tell you how my life has changed. I think the first time I really noticed my life was different is when my godkids came to visit and I took them for a walk. And I thought, man, every other time they came, we went to dinner. But this time we went on a walk and it was really fun. My godson loves flowers. It was magical to see him doing something he really loves and be part of that. My body's changed a lot and I think I'm still catching up with how much it's changed. But I just see these like little doors open and I'm seeing them open, but I never punished myself. I've never restricted myself. I've never been unkind to myself in this process. And I think there is a way to get to your healthiest version of yourself without being mean to yourself.
And this is, again, going back to the moral masking and the strategic performative, whatever. Moral masking. She's trying to elevate her own behavior above. I don't think you should. I don't think you should punish yourself. I think there's a way where you can be kind to yourself, kind of a thing. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with the message. It's just overall kind of a thing. Did I lose something else here? No. No.
That you can love yourself through this change and you can still enjoy life through change.
Keeping that
but
up,
that
yeah.
doesn't happen unless you find the right provider and you find the right healthcare team to help you do it. And I chose to do this video today because I really passionately believe that. And I know some of you will look at this and go, oh, it's a sponsored video. And it is sponsored. I'm not going to lie to you about that. But
this goes to law number 3 within the 48 laws. This is conceal your intentions. And I know she just came out and said, yes, it's a sponsored video, but I fervently believe in this. Or she's going to say that in a second anyway. This is disruptive reasoning. And disruptive reasoning keeps people mentally off balance. If people can't clearly track your motives, they can't resist your reasoning. By clouding the truth, you're attempting to keep people reactive, and that way they're always trying to keep up with your reasoning. If people are always trying to keep up... I have no idea what my cats are doing in the other room. And I'm terrified to go find out at this point. Anyway, if people can't keep up with your reasoning, you have them at your mercy, right? If people are always trying to figure out what the hell you're thinking, what the hell you're doing, what the hell you're talking about, you're the one in control of the conversation, right? I can't effectively counter your argument if I don't know what the hell your argument is, right? And that's kind of the point here of the disruptive reasoning. I don't give you long enough to settle on any particular point in my argument long enough to come up with a counter argument, right? But that's part of concealing your intentions. She's got here. Yeah, I'm telling you it's sponsored, but I'm also telling you that I believe in this. Well, I mean, how can I believe that you do believe in this if you're also telling me that it's sponsored? I mean, I don't disbelieve that somebody could believe in something and also sponsor it. I mean, there's things that I don't have sponsors, but there are things that I enjoy that I would sponsor, like elf products. I'm not sponsored, right? But you guys know that I'm fucking obsessed with them, right? Slimes. I am obsessed with slimes. If one of them were to come to me and be like, hey, would you like to sponsor us? I'd be like, yeah, sure, I could do that. But I wouldn't doubt people, or I wouldn't blame people if I got a sponsorship from one of them and started being like, I love elf. If people would be like, I don't know if I can trust you. What if elf isn't the best product? I mean, I can't tell you that this is the best product. I can tell you I like this product, you know, but if all of a sudden I start telling you this is the best product this is ever product because I'm sponsored, I can't guarantee that, you know, and that's kind of what's going on here. But she's trying to keep us on our toes by juggling things around. And that's law number 3, concealing your intentions. We're not there yet. Keep going.
I did this video because I fervently believe that this is what we need. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I can't change your life, but
Thank
you can
God.
change your life. I guess my final thought for this is often with these types of videos, people spend a really long time talking about all the things they've lost, all the weight, all the inches and stuff. And I don't want you to take that away from this video, because I don't think that's why I did this initially. I did this because of all the things I wanted to gain. I wanted my freedom back.
Okay, this is another thing. This isn't about what I've lost. It's about what I've gained. This is, again, narrative control. We're trying to redefine terms. We're trying to redefine how the conversation flows. This isn't about what I've lost. I'm refinagling how the conversation is allowed to be discussed. We're not talking about what I've lost. We're not talking about the weight that I have lost, you know, because BOPO, health at every size, fat acceptance, they're always concerned about how much weight have you lost. We're not talking about that. We're going to talk about all the things that I've gained. We're going to talk about the walks that I've taken with my god kids. We're talking about my mysterious whatever the fuck is wrong with me health shit that I'm not going to tell you about. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We're not going to talk about the pounds that I've lost, right? And then, yeah, we're not there yet. But that's the narrative control there.
I wanted my hope back.
Oh, we're going to talk about
And
that.
I wanted opportunities back. And as I'm seeing those come back into my life, I have absolutely no regrets.
Regrets.
I also know that my choices are my choices. And I made the choices that were best for the life I want to live. And I also believe initiatives like this, like the Inclusive Obesity Care Initiative, also empower others to make the best choices for them. Health is not simple. It's not one size fits all. And it's about time that plus size people started getting the care they deserve in a way that's compassionate and just...
And this is just taglines from Novo Nordisk.
Kind. With that, guys, I'm going to end up this video. I am crying.
All right, so this is, it's about time that plus-size people got the care they deserved. It goes under, I think, Law 27, personally. Play into people's need to believe, play into people's needs to believe to create a cult-like following. And this one, I think, is that way because it creates the myth, it allows the myth to become communal. Audiences aren't just watching, they are participating in the shared belief. Criticism isn't just disagreement, it's hearsay. The mythologized figure becomes more than just a person, it becomes a symbol. And the reason I think this fits in here is because she's talking about plus-sized people. And people often go after fat acceptance and haze as a cult. And I'm not trying to feed into that in like the clinical definition of cult. I'm using this as like the colloquial whatever definition of it, in that she's trying to tap into the hive mind here. Like, we are all fat, and all of us fats, we deserve better treatment. People shouldn't look down on us just because we're fat, and fat people deserve to be treated better just because we're fat. And it's like she's trying to tap into the sisterhood of the fat, right? Like, she's still talking to me whether she believes she is or not. You know, I'm fat, she's fat, you're fat, they're fat. We're all fat, and we all deserve better treatment because we're fat. And that's what she's trying to do here. She's trying to create that hive mind, that cult-like following around that. And that's Law 27. She's trying to create this communal myth around fatness, around plus size, and that's what's occurring here.
Crying in a hotel room in Finland. That's not where I expected to be today, but it's where we are. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll check you later.
And this whole I'm crying in a hotel room in Finland, this I think goes under, again, strategic victimhood. I'm crying in my hotel in Finland, you guys. Taking such a chunk out of my busy day in Finland. My happiness retreat in Finland. This is also courting attention at all costs. Law number 6. Overwhelming discourse with conflict statements such as drama or chaotic storytelling. She's trying to remain the focal point. I mean, I'm in my hotel room in Finland. Where she's, I'm crying in my hotel room in Finland. She's also trying to use confusion as part of the spectacle. The video once again comes back around to being about her. It's no longer about Novo Nordisk. It's no longer about the fat myth or whatever the hell we were actually talking about. Do you even remember what this video is about? I mean, not because of my contribution, but, whatever the fuck she was talking about. So that's what this here was, is the very last sentence was to remind you all that this video is about Anna. So that's how we're closing this video out. Anyway, she's going to say, check you later and peace.
And peace.
There we go. Right. So That, I think, was an important, you can agree or disagree with me. I think that was an important video in the timeline of Anna's lipedema journey because it is right smack in the middle. Well, I think it's right smack in the middle of the 2020 video and the 2024 video that we're going to watch next, which is the actual launching of the I'm going to be having surgeries. And I think it's important because it's not an outright admission that she is taking the weight loss injections, because we never get one of those. There was, for an incredibly brief moment in history, I think Instagram post where she mentions that she was taking weight loss injections, but then she goes back and edits it so that she takes that out. I think it said that for like maybe 24 hours, maybe less. But she goes back and she edits it and takes that out. And so that is lost to the history of time, never to be seen again. I think it's probably preserved somewhere on the internet, probably on one of the Reddits, but you will never see it again. And that is how hard Anna works to keep that information away from her audiences. And that is why she gets critiqued so fucking hard by her audiences about the weight loss stuff, because up until she admits fully that she's coming off the weight loss drugs, there is no admission that she's even on them, right? And then when she does admit them, well, I think she mentions it in the I'm getting surgery video. When she does admit that she was even on them, she only admits that she was on them because now she's noticing her inflammation. But keep in mind, the GLP-1s weren't being used for inflammation control until like the last year, maybe last year and a half. So she wasn't on them for inflammation control, period. Now, I believe some point between her third and her fourth surgery, she mentions that she's going to be going back on them for inflammation control, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities in the modern day within the like this year, I think is end of 2024, beginning of 2025, not outside of the realm of possibilities, but is also not probable, is also possibly not probable. I don't think that's coming out right. But my point is, I don't think that's why she goes back on them. But that's my personal opinion. All right. Anyway, I have rambled way too fucking long. So I hope you guys are enjoying these. These are really long videos. I hope you guys are getting stuff out of this. If you're not, sorry. Again, as in the last video, this is what we do here. If you're here in this video and you're like, wow, you made way too much out of this video. That's what we do here, man. I don't know why you're watching this video. All right. If you've made it this far, go ahead and put I don't know. Is the Finland flag? Can you do that? Put the Finnish flag down in the comment section. You can probably also put any other flag down in the comment section, because I honestly don't know if I know what the Finnish flag looks like. I'm from America. Surprise me. Anyway, so go ahead and put the Finnish flag down in the... There you are. Now you show up. You done knocking things down in the other office? Hey. Yeah? Oh, you're my boy. Oh, you're my boy, yes. All right. Yeah, go ahead and put the Finnish flag down in the comment section. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know I cover a lot of ground in these, and there's my asshole cat. This is the cat that never shows up, so, enjoy this while you can. And that's all I've got for you guys. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns down in the comment section down below. And thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe. Yes, I know you're there. If you are into this kind of stuff, there are three levels of membership if you are interested. And that's all I've got for you right now. And I will see everybody in the next one. Bye.
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.